Welcome to your computer basics video tutorial. We're going to cover a lot of content in this video and hopefully helps you catch up with some basic things like copying and pasting and file management. So we're going to go through this presentation and I'm going to be closing it and showing you things on my computer. So just follow along and try to absorb everything, and you can feel free to pause and try out the things I try out. So let's get started. So we're going to define computer, learn about file management, cover how to turn on and off the computers. There's a lot of things you can do within Chrome, the web browser, and you're going to learn something called Omnibox. And if you don't already have a Google account, you definitely should, especially with your school email. There's some basic email things we'll cover, some basic Google Doc things, and how to send and receive emails. A computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It is basically everything that you've ever done on a screen or your phone. There's a computer inside of it that can do this, manipulate information or data. Here we have an image of a desktop. We have desktops in the back of our classroom. They're all in one, so it looks like just a monitor. But some desktops have this thing right here called a tower. So let's label these parts so that you're more in tune with what they all are. So this thing right here, we call that a computer tower, and inside of it is the CPU, the central processing unit. In order to see what's happening internally, it gets outputted to a monitor, the TV screen on most computers. You should know what headphones look like, and flash drives. They all have a little bit different styles, but they all usually have a USB port type looking output thing here, like that. There are newer flash drives coming out with USB-C type, but those are kind of rare right now. CDs, we don't use CDs in this class, but you might see them in other classes. If you might be in a computer class, you might need to use these. Speakers, we use laptops in class, so our speakers are built into our laptops. The QWERTY keyboard, it's called a QWERTY keyboard because if you look at the Q, why did I say it like that? The Q, KWERTY, it spells QWERTY. Of course, a computer mouse, we use computer mice in this class, it makes things a lot easier. And USB ports, you can find those on the back of the computer, the central processing unit or the tower. Power cables, USB cables, and printer. You can find our printers. We have two on a table and one large one near my desk. Here's our laptop. These are the computers that we primarily use in this class. Inside of the laptop is the central processing unit. There's a motherboard that contains all of the components that make the computer run, and we can't access that. That is screwed inside of it. We don't play around or mess around with that stuff. The monitor is the output device that shows us what's happening on screen. We have the touchpad, which is the mouse. The keyboard is the main thing in front of you. Your headphone, let me exit out. This is pointing at the wrong thing. Headphone ports right here. USB ports right here. There we go. Okay. Your USB port, that's where you can plug in your flash drive or computer mouse. There's several USB ports on our computers, on our laptops. Here's another view of the same laptop. The power plug-in, please make sure that you plug in your computer at the end of every class, and also make sure you're putting the correct computer in the correct slot in the cart. Some of your computers might have an HDMI port, that's so you can connect to another monitor. And then, of course, there might be one or two extra USB ports on the other side. This slot right here, that's for memory cards. We don't use memory cards in here. How to turn off a computer and how to turn it on. On your laptop in the top right corner, there is a power button. Never ever turn off the laptop using that button. I'm going to show you the proper way. So, if you are using a monitor, monitors usually have buttons on the front right. Our laptop screen monitor doesn't have an on-off button. But if you ever need to shut down the computer, never ever hold down the physical button. You should always go to the Start menu, and within the Start menu you have a Shutdown button. So on a Windows 7 computer, this is what it would look like. Shutdown. So you would click Shutdown. Let me exit out of this. Let me close everything here. So you're looking at my desktop right now. On a Windows 10, you have the Start menu in the bottom left. If you click on that, you have the power button right here, and you click on that, you have your sleep, shutdown, and restart options. Okay, so again, never ever hold down the physical button to shut it off unless you absolutely need to, like if the computer's frozen, it's not doing anything. Same goes for sleep. Sleep mode is useful for anyone to stop working for a short period of time. You can just put the computer to sleep instead of shutting it down. Okay, if you're using a desktop computer with a tower, if you turn it around, there's all kinds of ports and inputs that you can see on the back. These are really old school right here, these computer mouse inputs. You don't really see these anymore. Then of course you'll find USB ports, the power plug, video card ports. These are kind of going away also, these VGA computer ports. And then you would have some various sound in and sound outputs. Let's talk about file management. So on a Windows 7 computer, this is what you might see if you open up a documents folder or file. So if you ever need to make a new folder, you'll probably see a button that says New Folder. And you'll also see some menus up top: File, Edit, View, Tools, Help. On the left side, you might find a Pictures folder, Music, or Documents. Okay. So let's cover how to make folders, finding files, renaming files, deleting files. And this is all going to be done on a Windows 10 computer. My computer is a Windows 10 operating system. So if I click Start and I just scroll up, I'll see the Documents option open up. If I click on that, it's going to open up a folder. It might open up small, it might open up large. You can change those settings by clicking in the top right, this little square. So let's go to my school files. Okay, mine is showing everything in a list. So if I needed to, let's say, find something, right? Near the top right, you should see a Search Files button. If I wanted to search for, something I've created, I need to remember the name first of all. So whenever you're saving files, it's really important that you save the file according to what it is, and also maybe attaching your initials or your full name, especially if you're on the student account on the computers, because there could be multiple files of the same name, but it might not be yours. So if you do a search, you'll find all the files related to that search. And let's say I needed to open up this file, but I wanted to rename it. I would right click on it, and I get a lot of options here. I can open it, edit, and then here's that rename. I can also delete it or copy it. So if I clicked rename, it will give me the option to rename, and I can just go ahead and type whatever I'm going to rename. I'm going to tap escape because I don't actually want to rename that. On the Windows 10 computers, let's go back to just school files. You have these tabs at the top. So if I click on the Home tab, I get some options. The View tab is what you might use most often because you can change how you navigate. You can change how your folders and files look. Okay, the details. I like using the details view because I can sort by type, the date. The other really powerful thing in Windows 10, at the very top of the browser on the left, you have something called Quick Access. So whenever you save something or you work on something, those last bits of folders that you've worked in or recent files will be there, like, readily available. So if I was working on something yesterday, it'll show me in the recent files. And that's really powerful, especially if you're looking to send something via email, which is something that you guys do quite often, or ask you to do that. So if I click Compose in Gmail, and then I click this little attach files right here, and close this stuff. If I go up to quick access, the last thing that I needed to work on or I saved is right there for me to open and attach, which is great. Some of you struggle with finding your files. Copying and pasting is very straightforward within the folders. If you right click on a file, you have a copy option. Once you copy that, you can then click on another folder, right click basically anywhere and click paste, and you can paste that file into that folder. Alright, let's go back to this presentation. So web browsers. You just saw me access a web browser to get onto Gmail. I'm using the Chrome web browser, but there's other web browser types. So we have Chrome, there's Internet Explorer or Edge, the Apple one, which is Safari, and then Mozilla Firefox. All of these are great. We use Chrome pretty much exclusively in class, and I'm going to show you how to use some features within Chrome. Let's go to that part first. All right. So in Chrome, there's this thing called the Omnibox. So if I click on a new tab, this whole thing right here, this is the Omnibox. Now this is a really powerful search engine search tool, where if you just type in something and press enter, a whole page of results will pop up. But the Omnibox does so much more. If I typed in Japan time and press enter, I get the time in Japan. So right now, at the time that I'm making this video, it's almost 8 a.m. in Japan. But you can convert currencies, you can convert measurements, and you can even track earthquake activity. So if I type in earthquake, I can see all the recent earthquakes. And apparently the most, let's see, today's the 9th. At the time I'm making this video, there was an earthquake in Papua New Guinea. Okay, a magnitude 5.4. So you can keep track of earthquakes, which is interesting. Let's convert some currencies. So if you ever plan on going to Europe, they use the euro. So if you type in $1 to euro, $1 over there is worth 91.91 euros. If you're going to, let's say you're going to go to Mexico, €1 to pesos, that's $18 worth of Mexican pesos. So go to Mexico. You'll not spend a lot and feel rich. You can convert measurements. So if you needed to know how many inches are in a centimeter, you can type 1 inch to centimeter, and you get this really great conversion tool. See how it does that automatically. Okay. It also has a menu for you. You can convert area, you can convert mass, speed, temperature, time, and so on. We do some time stuff in our class. So the Omnibox, it's a really powerful tool. Use it to your advantage. There's even calculators built in. So if you were to type like 5 times 5 and press enter, the calculator pops up. Alright, let's go through. I don't want to watch this video. Let's look at some email basics. So within Gmail, the compose button, it might look a little different on your page. You would click compose to send an email. In the to box, you need to know the person's email address. The subject is what you're going to talk about in the email. So if I needed to, email a principal about a student, I might write that student's initials, and maybe I have a concern or just praise about him. And then I would start with a greeting, my message, and end it with, a nice regards. Okay. Once you're logged into your email, that means you're logged in across all Google stuff. So if you click on this thing, it looks like a little waffle or a bunch of dots. You're logged into your Drive. So if you log into Gmail, you're automatically logged into your Google Drive. You're automatically logged into your Google Classroom. So at the end of every class, make sure you sign out. So click on your little dot over here and sign out. All too often, you leave your account open for others to open your Drive, add things that aren't supposed to be added, and so on. So never forget to sign out. Okay, let's talk about, why should you send emails with proper spelling and grammar? The answers are very obvious. It shows that you are smart. It shows that you care about details. It shows that you care about your message and what you mean to say. It proves you have good work ethic, and it proves that you know how to do a good job. So whenever you're sending an email, make sure it's professional, because it can come back and bite you in the butt. You should also always be using a professional email name, nothing inappropriate or strange, especially when you're emailing your boss or coworkers. Typing is really important. Here's just a few examples of typing jobs. You can literally have a job just typing, and you can see the salaries here on screen. These might have changed a little bit, but look up typing jobs and you'll see that there's a lot of opportunities in just being a skilled typist. It is an important workplace skill, and most jobs require it. Okay. If you want to start practicing your typing, this would actually count for credit in class. If you go to typing.com, you can log in with your Google account, and you can then begin practicing typing. And this is going to benefit you greatly, especially as you progress through high school, and if you end up at college. The faster you type, the better you become at all of the computer skills. You become more tech savvy and just overall a better computer user, and it'll help you write and type your essays a little faster. You can always do a typing check at this website, 10fastfingers.com. Take a typing test, see how fast you are. You can keep track of how fast you are, and it's just also really fun, and you can be competitive with your friends. Let's look at Google Docs. At this point, if you want to take a break, please take a break. I know this video is kind of extensive. So, alright, if you're back with me, let's look at the Google Drive. Within Google Drive, there's going to be a button that says New. It'll let you make new things like a Google Doc, a sheet, slides. If I click on New Google Doc, I'm able to create a document where I can type and add text. My typing's too fast for it right now. Let's try that again. So typing. Something that trips up some students is, simple highlighting and changing of the font, the size, and the alignment. Okay, so the font styles, font size, you can change font color. Let's see, so let's rename this doc. So the top left, you can rename it. in the top right. If you need to share it with me, you click share. You type in my email address or any other teacher's email address that you need to share it with. And you would click that send button. What else is here? How to insert a table. Inserting tables is pretty straightforward. You go to insert table, you select how many cells you want, and you use tables for various reasons in your classes, keep track of data, and so on. In that insert menu, you have a lot of other options like inserting images. You can search the web for an image on the right side here, and if you were to click and drag that image, it'll pop up there. Okay, what else are we covering? Yeah, I think we covered a lot. If there's any other computer basics, tips, and tricks that you feel like sharing with your classmates, that would be amazing. I would love to see what you guys talk about in terms of computer skills and maybe some skills that I didn't mention in here, like how to adjust the volume or how to make your screen brighter. Try and figure those things out and then report back to me and share with your other friends in class. And just don't be afraid of trying things. If you get stuck on something, ask for help from a peer and then ask me. And then of course you can always Google how to do something. So if you don't know how to use a keyboard shortcut like how to print, which is straightforward, like Control P. If you're in a document, press Control P. That'll open up the print settings. There's a lot of keyboard shortcuts that you can explore and try out. But for now, that's all we're covering in computer basics. And have a good rest of the class.